Throughout your spiritual journey, have you ever experienced the faint sting of envy? During your spiritual awakening, there are some indicators that you need to be aware of. If you observe closely, you will see the telltale symptoms. People who are jealous frequently act in ways that undermine or ignore you. This implies that they can act indifferent to you and reject your efforts to engage or converse with them. Additionally, they may attempt to minimize you by downplaying your significance and giving you the impression that you are unworthy of their time. These people may even go so far as to accuse you of doing things in public or penalize you for things you didn't do. It seems as though they are trying to defame you or instill guilt in you. Their aim to lessen your impact and satisfy their personal demand for attention is the source of this behavior. By making you feel less important, they hope to feel more important themselves. Someone who is jealous and envious of you may attempt to convince you that you are unworthy or act as though you don't exist. Their desire to bolster their own ego at your expense and their own anxieties are what motivate them to act in this way. It's critical to identify these behaviors so you can guard against the harm they may cause. A person who is envious may frequently cultivate a feeling of scrutiny and secrecy. People that are jealous of you seem to know everything about your life and activities, even when you don't communicate with them. They purposefully keep you in the dark about social events or parties you'd like to attend by withholding information. Their surreptitious observation reveals underlying envy and jealousy. They might keep an eye on your social media profiles or ask their mutual connections where you've been. This is a behavior that comes from wanting to stay in charge and make sure you don't go above them. You can feel uncomfortable in that you're being watched or scrutinized all the time because of their secrecy. It's critical to understand that their behavior is motivated by their own fears of being eclipsed by your happiness or success. Excessive attachment and manipulation are frequently the results of jealousy. The jealous person could become extremely needy in an attempt to dictate your choices and actions. Their actions are a result of a strong need to establish control and a deep sense of insecurity. They may try to keep you close by controlling circumstances out of concern that your success or independence may jeopardize their authority. This might show up subtly, such as guilt-tripping you into spending time with them or making you feel bad about going after your objectives. They can smother you with their over-attachment, making it difficult for you to set boundaries or follow your own interests. They could play on your fears in order to preserve control by manipulating your emotions in order to keep you attached to them. Feelings of jealousy make recognition difficult to come by. Envious people won't acknowledge your accomplishments or the good things in your life. They minimize your accomplishments, neglect to commemorate your anniversaries, and add to the absence of encouragement. Instead of congratulating you on your successes, they react coldly or make an effort to discredit you. Their own fears and fear of being overshadowed by your achievement are the root causes of this lack of appreciation. Their attempts to undermine you go so far as to minimize your accomplishments in public, creating a vicious circle of negativity. They create a delusion of superiority based on their own deep-seated fears by refusing to accept your accomplishments. Acknowledging this trend is critical to preserving your spiritual awakening journey's positive outlook and self-worth. Belittling of your success becomes the goal. Envious people might ignore your accomplishments and instead target and criticize you non-stop. Instead of appreciating your efforts and abilities, they could write off your successes as unimportant or credit luck. Their denigration of your accomplishments is motivated by insecurity and a desire to make you doubt yourself. They try to keep their sense of superiority and boost their own ego by downplaying your accomplishments. This behavior might be subtle, such as backhanded compliments or snarky remarks that lower your self-esteem. Their continual denigration of you over time can cause you to lose confidence and start to doubt your own value. People that take great pleasure in your mistakes could be jealous or envious. Envious people take every chance to point out your shortcomings rather than providing encouragement or empathy. At the smallest mistake or setback on your part, they might excitedly declare, "I told you so." Their desire to undermine you and establish their superiority is what motivates their gloating. They want to prove their apparent superiority over you and inflate their own egos by taking pleasure in your errors. This kind of behavior can be upsetting and detrimental since it erodes your self-esteem and confidence in your skills. It generates a hostile and resentful environment that makes it hard to keep up good relationships. Understanding this pattern is critical to safeguarding your mental health and sense of self during the process of spiritual awakening. Having a supportive network of people around you who can provide constructive criticism instead of making light of your mistakes will enable you to keep your attention on your own personal development. Fair-weather friendships are a common way that envy shows itself. People who are jealous of you could turn away from you when you're succeeding or reaching your objectives. Their own lack of confidence and their wish to not feel unimportant are the causes of this behavior. Rather than congratulating you on your successes, they distance themselves out of concern that your accomplishments will attract attention away from their own perceived shortcomings. They could find it difficult to deal with feelings of fear and envy, which makes them turn away from you when you're winning. When you feel abandoned and neglected when you most need help, this behavior can be distressing and alienating. It's critical to see these friendships as temporary and surround yourself with people who actually rejoice in your accomplishments. Through cultivating connections based on mutual respect, trust, and sincere assistance, you can establish a robust support system that sustains you throughout your spiritual awakening process. Envious people will always find fault with whatever you do, no matter how hard you work or how talented you are. Their goal to destroy your confidence and their underlying insecurities are the reasons behind their unrelenting examination. They point out and critique, concentrating on alleged shortcomings and errors, as opposed to providing helpful criticism. This kind of behavior can be detrimental, lowering your self-worth and making you feel inadequate. It is difficult to sustain healthy connections in their toxic environment of criticism and negativity caused by their fault-finding inclinations. It's critical to identify these habits and surround oneself with positive, encouraging people. Throughout your spiritual awakening process, you can safeguard your mental health and advance by cultivating relationships based on support and positivity. Envious people could hate you without any reason. Their obsessive hatred is a result of their underlying insecurity and need to establish their superiority. Their distaste could show up subtly, like avoiding conversations with you or slandering you behind your back. It's critical to understand that their contempt is primarily due to their own fears and is not at all related to your behavior or personality. This kind of treatment can be upsetting and perplexing, leaving you to question what you did wrong to warrant such punishment. However, you can keep your mental stability and sense of self-worth intact by realizing that their distaste is a result of their own problems. In the process of your spiritual awakening, it is important to address envy with discernment and caution. You can't have inner peace and focus if you ignore and avoid battle with jealous people. Conflict merely serves to magnify negativity and divert your attention from your own spiritual development. Envious people's confrontations frequently result in unneeded tension and strife. Put your own health and spiritual growth first rather than becoming involved in their resentment. Keep in mind that your journey is not about proving yourself to other people, but rather about inner development and self-discovery. By staying out of arguments and avoiding confrontations with envious people, you free up your energy for activities that have greater significance. Even in the face of jealousy, concentrate on spreading love and optimism. Your capacity to rise above adversity and keep an optimistic view promotes harmony in your relationships and aids in spiritual development. It is not unusual for those who are chosen to encounter hatred from others. They may be the object of jealousy and animosity due to their exceptional traits and skills. Certain individuals may be the target of animosity from others because they are a ray of hope and light in an otherwise dismal environment. People who are chosen frequently have attributes that others may strive for, but feel they are unable to attain. This disparity can exacerbate jealousy and feelings of inadequacy, which makes some people turn their bad feelings toward the people they have selected. Furthermore, individuals who stand to gain from preserving the status quo may be threatened by selected ones who defy the status quo and upend established power dynamics. Hatred toward those who are selected and who represent the possibility of progress and transformation can be a manifestation of this resistance to change. It's critical for those who have been chosen to understand that hostility from others does not define them or their value. Chosen ones can use their special gifts and abilities to inspire good change and encourage those around them, rather than internalizing the negativity directed towards them. During your spiritual awakening path, navigating feelings of jealousy and envy can be difficult, but it's crucial to stay watchful and self-aware. Being able to spot jealousy in others enables you to safeguard your mental health and uphold healthy relationships. It's important to be in the company of encouraging people who encourage you when things go well and rejoice with you. Creating a solid support system built on mutual respect and trust will help protect you from the damaging impacts of envy and jealousy. Recall that the urge to assert authority or superiority and underlying insecurities are frequently the root causes of jealousy. By being aware of the underlying reasons of envy, you may deal with difficult circumstances with empathy and compassion. Stay true to yourself and concentrate on your own personal development as you proceed on your spiritual path. You can overcome the difficulties of envy and come out stronger and more resilient than ever before by maintaining a good outlook and developing wholesome relationships. I want to thank you for watching if you're still with me. If you like the information and would like to see more, please think about hitting the subscribe button. We are grateful for your support. Please feel free to share your ideas or experiences in the section below. Till then, be careful and subscribe for more enlightening posts.